Salvete! This is Latin with Stephen. Thanks for dropping in to this little corner of cyberspace where we're investigating the beautiful Latin language. You're very welcome here. Let's get into it with a bit of revision based on what we did in the last lessons. Let's take then first conjugation verbs, amare. Remember, they all end in are. That's the infinitive, to love. We take off the are, that leaves us with a stem, in this case am. And that is what we add the personal endings to make a verb that we can use. In this case, in the present tense. So, I love, you love, he, she loves. Amo, amas, amat. Amamos, amatis, amant. Repeat after me. Amo, amas, amat. Amamos, amatis, amant. What if we switch it to greeting? Remember that one? A bit like saluting. Salutare, salutare. Saluto, salutas, salutat. Salutamos, salutatis, salutant. What else did we have? How many can you remember without checking your notes? What about working? Laboring. Laborare. Let's do it together. Laboro, laboras, laborat. Laboramos, laboratis, laborant. Walking. Ambling. Ambulare. Ambulo, ambulas, ambulat. Ambulamos, ambulatis, ambulant. In the last video, I introduced two new verbs. One was to chastise or to punish, to rebuke. Can you remember that one? Castigare. Castigare. The stem is castig. Castigo, castigas, castigat. Castigamos, castigatis, castigant. And what was the other one? It was the verb to help, wasn't it? And it started with an IU at the beginning. And I said you pronounce that yo, as if you can visualize a Y in front of it. What was the whole verb? There's a V in the middle. Iuare. Iuare. Well done if you remembered. Take off the are. Iuo, iuas, iuat. Iuamos, iuatis, iuant. Again. Iuo, iuas, iuat. Iuamos, iuatis, iuant. Right. Let's make some little sentences then, based on the things we've learned. I help, since we've just had that one, I help the girl, singular. Ego, if you like. Puellam, accusative. Iuo. Puellam iuo. We help the girl. We are helping the girl. Puellam iuamos. Puellam iuamos. What was the word for country, homeland, patriotic? Patria. Patria. So, what about I love the homeland or my homeland? Because it's obviously what we're referring to. In Latin, very often we wouldn't bother with the my, which is good for our purposes. So we can just say, I love homeland. Because it's clear. Ego. Patriam, accusative, amo. We love our homeland. Patriam. Amamos. The word for we, if you wanted, the pronoun is nos. N-O-S. Nos. So, nos patriam amamos. Ego, amo, nos, amamos. But again, it's optional because the amamos, the amos at the end, can only mean we. It can't mean anything else. So it's redundant in a sense. You can use it. It can be used for emphasis. Nos amamos. You know, we love. Something like that. But now you know it. Nos patriam amamos. Okay. Let's introduce some new words. Still first declension, ending in a. What have we got? This is the second whiteboard. We have cena. Cena is the dinner, the last meal of the day, the evening meal. Cena. Cena. Adwena. Adwena is a stranger or a foreigner. It's connected. This ad means to, And this second bit's connected to the verb to come, so it's someone who's come to our place. So somebody new in the area, stranger, foreigner, amongst the translations. So adwena, all short syllables. Adwena. First one, Cana, notice a long E. Cana, adwena. Cana, adwena. And the good thing is, these words just behave like puella. So we're doing it, guys. Now we're adding the leaves to our branches. More vocabulary to the system, the pattern that we've already learned. Now, I've given you the English on the board, but if you saw that word, it does look like the word disciple, doesn't it? A follower. So discipula, this would be applying to a female. The male would be discipulos. Discipula is a pupil in school or something like that, who's learning, a female pupil, a girl in school. Discipula. Discipula. Armilla. Armilla goes around the arm. Nice word, isn't it? Armilla. Armilla. And a nice joining word, we had et for and, sed for but, quoque for also. We know known makes negative. Amo I love, known amo I love not. Laudat, he she praises. Known laudat, he she doesn't praise. Now we've got quod, so we can make slightly longer sentences. Quod, notice the qua. You remember the word aquila or aquila for an eagle, so it's qua. Quod is because. And parare is another first conjugation verb, like amare, salutare. Parare is the verb to prepare, to get ready, make ready. So we take off the are and we have the stem par. Let's just do it together. Paro, paras, parat. I prepare, you prepare, she, he prepares, or it prepares. Paramos, paratis, parant. Again, paro, paras, parat. Paramos, paratis, parant. Brilliant. We'll leave the last one. I'll come back to that later. So let's make some sentences with our new words. I love the dinner. It was such a good dinner. So tasty. I love the dinner. Well, the dinner's not doing the action. The dinner's loving me. Maybe. So it's going to be accusative, right? Kenam. Kenam, amo. They love the dinner. What's the they form of the verb? Very important. NT on the end. Kenam, amand. The girls love the dinner. They're doing the loving, so they're nominative, the subject. Top nominative case. Puelai, kenam, amand. Puelai, kenam, amand. Or kenam, puelai, amand. It's the dinner that the girls love. Doesn't make a difference in Latin. Kenam, puelai, amand. That'd be perfectly correct and normal, just as much as puelai, kenam, amand. So we need to get used to that. All right. What about the slave girl? Remember that? Ankilla. The slave girl prepares the dinner. Ankilla. Kenam. Take off the are. Stem par. Parat. Parat. Prepares or is preparing. Kena. Ankilla. Kenam. Parat. What's the verb to praise? Laudable. Laudare. Right. The farmer praises the slave girl. The farmer praises the slave girl. Agricola. Ankillam. Laudat. Because the slave girl prepares the dinner. Because the slave girl prepares the dinner. Quod, ankilla, kenam, accusative, parat. Agricola, ankillam laudat. Quod, because, quod. Ancilla, Kenam, Parat. The pupil, female pupil, loves the bracelet. It's such a nice one. The pupil loves the bracelet. Discipula, she's doing the loving, so it's nominative. We can just keep it like that. Discipula, armilam, amat. The pupil loves and praises the bracelet. Loves and praises the bracelet. Discipula, armilam, amat, et laudat. Very nice. What else can we have? What about the girls prepare the dinner? So plural preparing. The girls prepare the dinner. Puelai, nominative. They're doing the action. Kenam, parant. Plural, the dinners. They prepare the dinners. Puelai, kenas, parant. The matron praises the girls because the girls prepare the dinners. I'm getting nasty here, aren't I? The matron praises the girls because the girls prepare the dinners. Matrona, puelas, laudat. Quod, because, quod. Puelai, they're doing the action this time. Kenas, parant. Matrona, puelas, laudat. Quod, because. Puelai, kenas, parant. Very good. You're doing well. If you're getting these right, you're doing very well. Even if you have to pause it and think a bit long, I think it's good. So, let's just revise the cases on here. Nominative. What's that? Subject of the sentence. The person or the thing doing the action or being. Ising, are, I am something, or I write, the girl does. Whoever's in charge of the verb, that's the way I like to express it. All right? But always with the verb to be. Be, become, seem, something like that. It's got to be nominative. Vocative is just calling someone directly, addressing them. Girl, puella. Stranger, adwina. Excuse me. Not seen you before. Adwina. Can you imagine the teacher? It's the pupil. Discipula. Puella. Direct address. Accusative, direct object. We've done that many, many times. Genitive, we covered saying that was of the, belonging to. So something of the girl. Puellai. Of the girls. Puellarum. So what about one girl? That girl's bracelet. The girl's bracelet. Unpack it. The bracelet of the girl. Nominative. Armilla. Puellai. Armilla, puellai. Or puellai, armilla. What about the matron praises the bracelet of the girl? The matron praises, laudable, the bracelet of the girl. Matrona, armillam, accusative, of the, puellai, laudat. Same sentence, but we've got more than one bracelet and more than one girl. The matron praises the bracelets of the girls. Genitive plural. The matron praises the bracelets of the girls. What's that going to be? Matrona. Armillas, direct object, the thing she's praising. Puellarum, laudat, or amat, she loves it. Loves them. Matrona, armilas, puellarum, laudat, et amat. Or she praises it because she loves it. Laudat quod amat. Matrona armilas puellarum laudat quod armilas amat, because she loves the bracelets. So that leaves us then with dative and ablative. Today we're just going to look at the dative case. The dative signifies two or for somebody or something. Two or for. Now, there are certain verbs that necessarily involve this idea, to or for. So, for example, the verb to give. If you're giving something, I give the pen, I subject, give verb, the pen, that's my direct object because I'm directly touching, affecting it. That's my accusative. But when you give something, you usually give something to someone. Yeah? So that to someone is what we call the indirect object. And that's what goes into the dative. So let's take a sentence in English. I give the pen to the pupil. I give verb the pen, direct object accusative, to the pupil, indirect object, dative. I'm not giving the pupil, then she would be an accusative. I'm giving the pen to her. So she's indirect. Some books refer to this as the remoter object, which also makes sense. And that goes in dative. Now we don't need the word to or for, because that's contained within the very ending of the dative. So if I say puellai, with this kind of verb of giving or sending something to, showing, I show the letter to the friend, to the student, then that is all contained to within the dative ending. Can also be for, I buy a present for, something like that. I'm looking for something for somebody. That is contained within. So really, when you spot one of these verbs, that's a kind of signal, really, that you might be expecting a dative. So we can see in the singular it's puellai, in the plural dative it's puellis with a long E. So for the girl or to the girl, puellai, for or to the girls, puellis. I'm buying a present for the girl, puellai. I'm buying a present for the pupils, for my pupils, disce puellis. What's daughter? Filia. I'm sending these flowers to my daughter, filiae. To my daughters, filiis. I'm preparing dinner for the stranger, for the new person who's newly arrived, adwenai. But there are two of them. I'm preparing the dinner for them, adwenis. You see, so that's how it works. You might be thinking, well, hang on, Stephen. Genitive is also I in the singular and I. So how do you know which is which? It's a good observation that they are both taking the same form, but then again, so is the nominative and vocative plural. So the fact of the matter is you just have to look at what's going on in the sentence. But as I've said with dative, the giving, the sending, if a verb is implying that something's going to somebody or for somebody, that indirect object, then the likelihood is it's going to be a dative in that particular case. So the context will always make it clear. And this is why it's really important to understand, to know the endings off by heart, and then understand the functions of the cases, which we're doing one by one, so that you can very quickly identify the meaning within a sentence, and that you're not labouring for ages on just one sentence. Okay, there's no guessing really. It's a question of diagnostic. All right, and the more you practice, the better at it you get. So, to or for somebody, I, is. Let's just go through this singular and plural just to practice this a little bit. Then I'll introduce the last verb of the day. Puella, puella, puellam. Puellai of the girl. Puellai to or for the girl. Puella, ablative. We'll come to that. Puella, puella, puellam. Puellai, puellai, puella, plural. Puellai, puellai, puellas. puellarum of the girls, puellis, puellis. Again, puellai, puellai, puellas, puellarum, puellis, puellis. So happily, the verb to give is an are first conjugation verb. So we can use that just like our parare and our amare in the present tense. So this is actually the shortest verb we've come across, because the first step is always to remove the are, right? Well, when we do that, we just get de. So we've got a few single syllable, monosyllable forms here. Do, I give. Do. Das, you give, singular. Dat, he, she, it gives. Plural. Damos, datis, dans. So it's the same, it's just a bit shorter because there's nothing else in the, no other consonants in the verb, in the infinitive, once you've removed the are. So, dare, dare, to give. Dare. Do, das, dat. Damos, datis, dans. Do, das, dat. Damos, datis, dans. And we can, when we're saying that, we can hear dative, dative. Do, das, dat. Dative, the giving case. I give something to somebody. Do, das, dat. Damos, datis, dant. Do, das, dat. Damos, datis, dant. So let's try it with a couple of sentences just before we finish. What about the stranger? The stranger gives the bracelet, or a bracelet. There's no the or a in Latin, so we just put bracelet to the girl. She gives it to her, so it's dative, bracelet's accusative. The stranger gives the bracelet to the girl. You got it? Adwena, armillam, even. Armillam, it goes on your arm. Armillam, puellai, dat. Adwena, armillam, puellai, dat. Or puellai, armillam, dat. You remember the word for spear? Begins with H, H-A. Hasta. Hasta. What about the matron gives a spear to the farmer? With hasta. The matron gives a spear to the farmer. Matrona. Hastam, accusative. Agricolai, dative. Dat. Matrona. Hastam, agricolai, dat. Or agricolai, dat. Hastam, hastam, dat. Word order is flexible. Last couple. What about for somebody this time? We've got the verb parare, to prepare. We said before the slave girl Ancilla prepares the dinner. What was that again? Ancilla ke nam parat. Let's say this time she prepares it for the stranger. She prepares the dinner for the stranger. And for the stranger is just all incorporated in one word with a dative ending. There's no little for. We don't need that. Ancilla, kenam, accusative. Adwenai, parat, parare, parat, third person singular. This time there are multiple newcomers or strangers in our village, and the slave girl is preparing the dinner for the strangers. So we just change the strangers. Ancilla, kenam, advenis, parat. What about a long one to finish on? The stranger praises the slave girl because she prepares the dinner. The stranger praises a slave girl because she prepares the dinner. Adwena ankilam laudable laudat because quod. Ankila Kainam Parat. Very good. Well done. Well done. So we've got a little bit more complicated today, but we do need to work through these cases. It's absolutely necessary. So I hope you found this useful. I hope things are slotting into place slowly but surely. You can always watch this video again, or some of the earlier ones if you just need to practice a little bit more, maybe before venturing onto the next video. So you've always got that. Don't rush ahead until you're really feeling that the ideas have solidified, you've understood them, and you're ready to move on to the next bit. But we're doing really well, so give yourself a pat on the back. We're really developing with our Latin. Thank you for joining me today, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video. As always, please give me a like if you don't mind, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop us a comment just to let me know where in the world you are and where you're watching this from. So, walete, take care, and guys, I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye-bye.